Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're jumping into a problem that pretty much every organization faces, trying to keep track of who has access to what. It seems straightforward, but it can turn into a tangled digital web faster than you can say permissions. So let's break down how Microsoft Entra access reviews can help us clean up that mess.
Okay, let's just start with the million-dollar question. I want you to really think about this for a second. Could you, right now, say with total confidence who has access to every single critical app, every important file, every single team in your company? It's a lot harder than it sounds, right? For most people, the honest answer is probably not. And here's why. Think of it like a keychain. Every time someone joins a project or changes roles, you hand them a new digital key. But what happens when that project is over? Do we always remember to get that key back? Yeah, almost never. And over the years, every single user ends up with this massive, cluttered keychain full of keys they just don't need anymore.
And that leads us right into our first big topic, the access creep problem. It's the official name for that cluttered keychain we were just talking about. And it's this sneaky threat where permissions that were totally necessary yesterday slowly but surely turn into major security holes today.
Access creep isn't some loud, obvious security event. It's this quiet, gradual buildup of risk. Every single one of those unnecessary permissions is like a key you forgot you left under the doormat. It's a hidden vulnerability, just sitting there, waiting for the wrong person to stumble upon it.
So, the big question is, what do we do about this? How do we start to untangle this jungle of permissions? Well, that brings us to the solution. Let's talk about what access reviews actually are. Think of them as your specialized tool for finally getting back in control.
Now, if you look at the official definition here, what's really important is that this isn't just about yanking access away from people. It's a planned review of what people need and what they have. The goal is super simple but incredibly powerful. Make sure the right people have exactly the right access they need to do their jobs and not a single permission more.
And just so we're clear, this isn't just a one-off cleanup. Access reviews are a huge piece of a much bigger strategy called identity governance. They help you answer these fundamental questions that every security and IT team is constantly thinking about. It's all about creating a system that you can actually manage and, just as importantly, prove to auditors that it's working.
Okay, theory is great, but let's get down to brass tacks. How do you actually get started? You can't just flip a switch and hope for the best. Success here really begins with a solid plan. So let's walk through the framework for setting up your very first review. It all comes down to planning. And that plan is built on answering these 5 key questions before you even start clicking route. You have to decide, what exactly are we reviewing? Whose access are we looking at? Who has the authority to say yes or no? How often are we going to do this? And maybe most importantly, what happens automatically once a decision is made?
And here's what that actually looks like in the real world. This screenshot shows you exactly where those decisions you just made come to life. See, when you're setting this up, you're not just messing with a tool. You're actually writing your security policy into the system. Look at those drop-down menus for selecting reviewers and setting the schedule. This is where your plan becomes a reality. And a really big piece of this puzzle is figuring out who should be doing the reviewing. And you've got some great options here. You can have the business owners, the people who actually own the resource sign off. That's fantastic for accountability. Or you could delegate it to a specific team. You can even have the users review their own access, which is basically asking them, hey, real talk, do you still actually need this key? Okay, let's take it up a notch. Doing a one-time review is a great way to clean house. But the real game changer is turning this whole thing into a repeatable, automated process. So let's talk about putting your reviews on autopilot.
And the heart of automation is, you guessed it, scheduling. Once you've defined what you're looking at, like an enterprise app in this example, you can just set it and forget it. You can make it run monthly, quarterly, annually, whatever makes sense. The system will then automatically kick things off, chase people down for you, and keep everything tidy over time without you having to lift a finger.
So what really happens after you hit start on one of these automated reviews? Well, it follows this really clear, predictable path. It kicks off and goes into progress, waiting for people to make their decisions. Then it finalizes the results. And here's the magic part. If you've enabled it, it automatically applies the changes. Anyone who was denied gets their access removed instantly. No tickets, no waiting.
All right, everything we've talked about so far has been about smart automation, which is awesome. But this next part, this is where things get really cool. What if you had an AI assistant that could help with the hardest part of this whole process, the human decision-making?
I mean, think about the #1 challenge for the people doing these reviews. They're busy. They get a long list of names and resources, and they have to decide approve or deny, often without much context. But what if a smart agent could analyze all the data behind the scenes and just give them a recommendation, complete with a reason why?
Now, this isn't some mysterious black box. The way the AI agent makes its recommendations is by looking at a bunch of concrete signals like these. It's asking questions like, has this person even signed in lately? Are they the only one in their department with this access? Is their account even still active? It's using real data to make an intelligent suggestion, not just a guess.
And here's a peek at the agent's dashboard. You can think of this as mission control for your intelligent access governance. It gives admins that bird's-eye view of what the AI is up to, providing insights and a clear audit trail of what the agent is recommending across the whole organization.
But you know what the best part is? Nobody has to learn some complicated new tool. The AI agent talks to your reviewers in plain English, just like a chatbot right inside of Microsoft Teams. It presents its findings and asks for a decision in a place where people are already working all day, every day. It's brilliant.
So when you boil it all down, the most important takeaway is this. This whole system, this whole idea is about a cultural shift. It's about moving the responsibility for these decisions away from a centralized IT team and putting it into the hands of the business owners, the people who actually have the context. And that one simple change is what leads to way more accurate, way more secure decisions.
So as we wrap this up, I'll leave you with one last question to think about. Take a good, honest look at your own company's digital access. Is it a well-managed garden where everything is neat and in its proper place? Or is it more of an overgrown jungle full of hidden paths and lurking risks? With access reviews, you finally have the tools you need to start weeding.